Something just shifted inside Flowery Branch, and hardly anyone's talking about it. The kind of move that doesn't make headlines, not yet, but could redefine how this season is remembered. 48 hours from kickoff, the Falcons are standing at the edge of everything. A win this Sunday could keep the dream alive. A loss? It could shatter the momentum that's been building for weeks. Every analyst is focused on the obvious storylines, the quarterback duel, the Patriots' defense, the playoff math, but behind the scenes, something far more calculated is happening. Because the Atlanta Falcons just made a move that screams one thing: they're preparing for war. Dylan Drummond has been elevated from the practice squad. And at first glance, that might sound small, a footnote in the game notes. But to those who understand how this team operates under Raheem Morris, nothing is random. Every decision carries weight. Every roster change is a message. Drummond isn't just another receiver getting a chance. He's a piece of a larger plan. This is his second call-up of the season. The first came in Week 8 against Miami. He played only 6 offensive snaps, barely noticeable to most. But the coaching staff noticed something. The way he attacked routes. The way he absorbed the game plan. The way he played without fear. And now, in the biggest game of the season, they're bringing him back. Ask yourself why. The Falcons already have Drake London, the rising superstar. Darnell Mooney, the speed threat. Ray McCloud, the gadget weapon. There were plenty of directions to go with that final spot, yet they chose Drummond. Again. That's not coincidence. That's trust. Raheem Morris and offensive coordinator Zach Robinson see something in him, a specific role designed for a very specific opponent. They see a receiver who can sneak behind a defense that's too focused on the stars. A player who can quietly become the spark this offense needs. And make no mistake, the Patriots are riding high right now. They believe they've got the Falcons figured out. They're preparing for London, for Bijan, for Mooney. They're not preparing for the one name that's been sitting quietly in the shadows, Dylan Drummond. Sometimes, the smallest roster move tells the biggest story. And this one? It might be the beginning of something none of us saw coming. Because Sunday isn't just another game. It's a statement. And the Falcons are ready to make it. The Patriots are walking into this game like they've already won it. 5 straight victories. Drake May playing like the next golden boy. The media can't stop calling them the team to beat. Everywhere you look, talk shows, headlines, predictions, it's the same story: New England unstoppable, Atlanta forgotten. And honestly, it's infuriating. Because somehow, the world has decided that the Falcons don't belong in this conversation. That this team, with one of the deepest, most talented rosters in the NFC, is just another stepping stone on the Patriots' victory parade. That's not analysis. That's disrespect. Pure, unfiltered, nationwide disrespect. And you can feel it in that locker room. You can feel it in the tone of every practice rep this week, the energy, the fire, the chip on every player's shoulder. Raheem Morris heard it too. After that painful Miami loss, when most teams would have hung their heads, he stood in front of his players and said something that cut through the noise. When you're down, that's when you find out who you are. That's when you go out and take one back. That wasn't coach speak. That was a challenge, a promise. Because this isn't just about a single roster move or a single game plan tweak. This is about sending a message: Atlanta isn't backing down. Now, let's talk strategy. The Patriots' defense has been hot, physical, disciplined, loaded with talent. But even great defenses have cracks. And New England's biggest flaw? They start slow. Every week. They take time to settle in, to adjust. That's where the Falcons are aiming their first punch. Zach Robinson knows it. Raheem Morris knows it. That's why Dylan Drummond's call-up matters. He's not just depth. He's part of a plan to hit fast and hit hard, to catch New England before they even realize what's happening. Drummond has the speed to stretch the field, the instincts to exploit soft coverage, and the energy of a player who's been waiting 2 years for this moment. He's been in the shadows, learning every wrinkle of this playbook, every motion, every audible. He's not guessing what's coming, he's ready to execute it perfectly. And here's the beautiful part: while the Patriots are stacking their defense against Drake London and Bijan Robinson, they're completely overlooking the silent weapons, the young, hungry players waiting for their chance to explode. Atlanta's not walking into this game to survive. They're walking in to shock the league. Because every ounce of disrespect, every word written off this team, it's about to fuel the kind of statement that no one will forget. Let's talk about the storm everyone's been whispering about, the question hanging over this entire week in Atlanta: who's starting under center? Every headline, every sports show, every so-called expert keeps pushing the same lazy narrative: Michael Penix Jr. might start. That could be an advantage for the Patriots. Really? That's the take? Because if you actually know football, if you've watched what this kid can do, you'd realize that narrative is dead wrong. Here's the truth: Michael Penix Jr. is not some backup being thrown into the fire. He's a first-round quarterback with one of the strongest arms in the league, a player who's been waiting for this exact moment. He's been studying behind veterans, absorbing every detail of Zach Robinson's system, learning what it means to command a huddle. And now, he might finally get his chance to unleash it. And that, right there, should terrify New England. Because you can prepare for Kirk Cousins. You can study his tape. You can track his reads, his rhythm, his habits. But you can't prepare for unknown danger. You can't prepare for a quarterback who hasn't shown you his full hand yet. If it's Penix, the Patriots are staring down a cannon arm and a fearless mind. If it's Cousins, they're facing one of the smartest pre-snap quarterbacks in football, a veteran who dismantles defenses by reading their disguises before they even move. Either way, Atlanta wins. This isn't just a quarterback controversy, it's a weapon of uncertainty. The Patriots have no idea what kind of offense is coming for them. Fast-paced? Deep shots? Power formations? Motion-heavy looks? They'll have to guess. And guessing against a team with this much offensive firepower is a dangerous game. But beyond strategy, this moment runs deeper. This isn't about stats or playbooks. It's about respect. Every player in that locker room knows what's at stake. This isn't just about getting back to .500, it's about reminding the entire NFL that Atlanta isn't a backdrop for anyone else's highlight reel. Because while the Patriots think they're extending a win streak, the Falcons are building a statement. They've got a running game that controls the clock and punishes defenses. Receivers who can take the top off any secondary in the league. A defense that, when it finds rhythm, creates absolute chaos. And now, with precise roster moves like Dylan Drummond's elevation, the chessboard looks completely different. Every piece is being placed with intent. When that ball kicks off Sunday at Gillette Stadium, here's what it comes down to: first quarter aggression. Atlanta can't play cautious, not this time. They need to attack early, use motion, stretch the field, and punch first. Special teams spark. One electric return from Drummond, one sudden momentum swing, could flip the entire game. Defensive pressure. Hit Drake May before he finds his rhythm. Make him uncomfortable. Make him question every throw. Coaching adjustments. Win the mental battle every drive, every series, every halftime change. This isn't about surviving the Patriots. It's about showing them and the rest of the league that the Falcons are done being underestimated. This Sunday, it's not just a football game. It's a statement of identity. And it starts with whoever takes that first snap under center. This is where Raheem Morris earns his reputation. Not just as a motivator. Not just as a culture builder. But as one of the brightest minds in football, the kind of coach who can outthink, outplan, and outfight an entire organization. Because make no mistake, this game isn't just about matchups or talent. It's about identity. It's about showing who's ready when the pressure hits. The Falcons have taken their punches this season. The loss to Miami hurt not just because of the scoreboard, but because of what it revealed. It showed that this team still has something to prove. It showed that talent alone isn't enough, it's the heart, the response, the resilience that separates the contenders from the pretenders. And now, the chance to respond has arrived. The Patriots think they've got this figured out. They think Atlanta's walking into their stadium scared, fragile, broken. The media has already closed the book, betting lines stacked against the Falcons, talking like this is just another chapter in New England's story. Good. Let them think that. Let them underestimate what's coming. Because this is exactly how great stories begin when the world stops believing, and a team decides to fight back. They think Dylan Drummond is just a practice squad receiver. They think the quarterback situation is chaos. They think the Falcons are just another opponent in their 5-game streak. They couldn't be more wrong. Behind the doors of Flowery Branch, this team has been sharpening its edge. Raheem Morris has been preparing his players to punch first, to stay composed, to win the chess match on every down. Zach Robinson has been dialing up plays designed to exploit every weakness in New England's system. The Falcons know exactly what they're walking into, and they're ready to burn every doubt to the ground. Sunday at Gillette Stadium isn't just another game. It's a statement, a declaration that this team refuses to fade quietly. When the clock hits 0, and the scoreboard silences the noise, the football world will finally see what Atlanta has been building. A team that plays for pride. A team that plays for respect. A team that plays for each other. This is the moment that defines everything. The moment the Falcons stop being overlooked and start being feared. Rise up, Atlanta. This is where the story changes.